Good evening and welcome. The agenda for the combined meeting, August 2nd, 5 p.m. Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta. Mr. Fiocchi.
Here.
Mr. Holmes. Mr. Rivera.
Here.
Mr. Sobrana.
Present.
Mr. Silva.
Here.
Mrs. Cottaspati.
Here.
Ms. Spinelli.
Here. In compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law, commonly referred to as the Sunshine Law, the Vineland Board of Education has caused notice and posting of this meeting to be sent to the following: announcing time, place, agenda, etc., the Daily Journal, S&J Today, the Press of Atlantic City, Vesto Bueno, the Clerk for the City of Vineland, and the Administrative Office Public Bulletin Board. At this time, please stand for the flag salute. Scott, do we have a resolution for executive session?
We do, thank you. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the City of Vineland School District will convene an executive session for the following reasons outlined in NJSA 10:4-12. Discussion including a collective bargaining agreement, a pending litigation, employment matters, and any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duties as a lawyer.
We will do our executive session after we do our swearing-in ceremony for our new board member. Special presentations, none. And then at this time,
We have to vote.
do I have a motion for executive session?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiocchi.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana.
Yes.
Mr. Silva.
Yes.
Mrs. Cottaspati. Ms. Spinelli.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Could we have Mrs. Douglas come forward, please? And Judge Demetria, Todd Ruiz. So we have a seat for you right here next to Mr. DeSanto. At this time, we will enter into our executive session. All right, we're back in business here, back in session. Approval of minutes. June 7th, 2023 combined meeting, July 12th, 2023 special meeting, July 12th, 2023 executive session, July 12th, 2023 combined meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do we have,
Please note the record that Ms. Douglas is now.
I apologize, Ms. Douglas. You're abstaining? Thank you.
do we have any committee reports this evening? Mr. Rivera.
Good evening. The Facilities Committee met on July 27th at 4:30 p.m. In attendance were Mr. Sabrana, Ms. Spinelli, Mr. Mastorell, Mr. Farinaccio, and myself. Several projects that we have ongoing were discussed. The ESSER HVAC update. Mr. Farinaccio reviewed the HVAC projects at Winslow, Danbarcy, and Mennies. All the projects are progressing and do not appear to have any major delays at this time. Mennies will be done on August 15th. Winslow should be completed the interior installation in 2 weeks. Equipment arrives at the end of August, but should be operational for the start of the school year. Danbarcy is currently on target to finish as well. 4 classrooms in the 1950 edition will be the last to come online before the start of school. ESSER 3 window project. It was explained that the windows at VHS North as well as the V-wing at the South building were on target and should be completed for the start of the school. If project delays occur, the project would move to second shift for the start of the school in September. So far, the contractor is on target for completion this summer. The district-wide camera project, phase 1 of the camera project is now complete, and the district held an informative overview of the project. Phase 2 is being planned now and should be out to bid by the end of August. Winslow bids for Durand and Winslow will be received this month. The Rossi roof project, Rossi's roof is almost 80% complete. The contractor should be finishing up in the next 2 weeks. The Johnstone pre-K modifications, both Mr. Mastorell and Mr. Farinaccio reviewed the objectives based on some funding changes. Facilities is going to prepare an additional pre-K space for the start of the year. Interior glass doors are being worked on and installed during the school year based on material acquisition challenges. And the overall department overview, Mr. Farinaccio reviewed the summer cleaning schedule. All schools are progressing and will be ready for the start of the school year.
Thank you. Great update. Mr. Fiocchi.
Good evening. Finance Committee met July 31st. In attendance was Mr. Mastorell, Mr. Yano, Mr. Rivera, Mr. Silva, Ms. Spinelli, and myself. Following topics were discussed. Grants and aid, PEA funding increased, 22-23 extraordinary aid from the state of New Jersey. No bids or RFPs. UAW negotiations. Preschool, 2 additional classrooms, 1 at Delago, 1 at Johnstone. Replacement of the refrigerated food service vehicle. Barcy HVAC project, and that was it. I also have policy and personnel met July 26th. In attendance was Mr. Sabrana, Mr. Rivera, Dr. Sneathen, Dr. Rossi, and myself. Following topics were discussed: COVID religious exemption, VHS principal search, assistant coordinator transportation, the new NJ sick leave statute, salary adjustment, staffing for September, and 2 clerical positions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Codispoti.
I'm just going to remind everybody that it's time to register for preschool. I believe there's a link on our website. Children must be 3 on or before October 1st. There's before and after school programs. There's busing is available within district set limits. You can call 794-6700 and press 1 to begin your registration, or there are codes you can scan, or just call the district and they can guide you.
Thank you. Public meeting report by Board Solicitor.
None.
We have no student representation tonight. Public comment on agenda items or any other matter, please limit yourself to 3 minutes and you can come to the podium.
Stephen Lewis.
Thank you. My name is Stephen Lewis. I live in Vineland, New Jersey. I would like to know how much federal money did the Vineland School Board receive from COVID funds? How much of the money was spent? Exactly what was the money spent on each item? Was there any money spent on wages? If so, how much and who received this money? Was this money a one-time payment or was it the amount added to employees' base pay? Is there a salary guide for all employees? What are the top wages of the highest earners? If the one-time wages become base wages, how does this affect the budget? Were buildings improved with this money? I also attend city council meetings on a regular basis. They allow you 5 minutes, and 3 minutes sometimes may not be enough. And I would like you to know if you would consider changing your time from 3 to 5 minutes. The City Council also has work sessions where you can sit down and discuss your questions. To me, this is very helpful to come to a meeting like this and not be able to have a dialogue with the people that you want to talk to. It doesn't help too much. And I know that they will get back to me and answer my questions maybe, but you know, with the work sessions, you can sit down, you can talk to everybody on the council, and they get involved with discussing what your question is. And I think that's a good way to run things. So if that is something that can be added maybe, or if you already have it, you know, I think it would be an excellent idea, because just coming here tonight and telling you my questions, I'll go home and what did I accomplish? I didn't get no answers, you know, because you don't have a work session. And on a general meeting at council, they have a pre-meeting. You can go into a pre-meeting and ask questions and they'll talk to you. But when it comes time for the regular meeting, you ask a question, you don't get an answer. So this is really disheartening when you really want to know something. So now I have to depend on somebody calling me and answering my questions. So if that's something you can consider in the future, that would be muchly appreciated. And I don't know if you can do that or not, but like I said, it would be nice to be able to talk to people directly and have a conversation. Or if possible, with my questions, whoever's going to answer them, if they would like me to come to their office, I'd be more than happy to take my time to come to the office, talk to them personally about my questions, which would be a big help for me to understand what's going on. So, but I went 5 seconds over my 3 minutes. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I'll be happy to hear from you. And when is the next meeting?
August 23rd, we have a special meeting.
Okay. And what is the special meeting?
It's a special meeting regarding personnel matters, so we can clear some things up before the start of the new year, school year. But the meeting you're probably interested in would be September 6th, I believe. September 6th is the next regular meeting.
Okay.
Mr. Lewis, is this an OPA request? Is that what you're considering this as?
Well, I don't know if you consider that an OPA request or not, but if it helps, I would consider that as an OPA request, yes. Yeah, because I never put in an OPA request, so if I had to, I wouldn't know what to do anyway. So,
All right, we'll be in touch. Thank you.
all right, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and have a good night.
All right, moving on to motions and resolutions. Consent agenda. Before the personnel matter, I am going to call on Mr. Sobrana.
I would like to wish the best possible health and fulfilling experiences to senior electrician John Steen, whose retirement we are about to approve. Anyone who watched VPS TV broadcasts for a 10-year period prior to my own retirement, saw quality aerial shots on local channels 9 and 41 because of John's work. John, and sometimes his colleagues, followed our broadcast van all over South Jersey during that time to locations where our equipment and crew far outstripped the facilities of most schools, especially football stadiums. This was difficult work, trailering motorized aerial lifts, loading and unloading them, locating them in safe positions, and then ensuring that our adult staff were able to do their jobs without much interference from fans and the home staff. Of course, he also had to deal with me. I tend to be somewhat particular, to say the least, when planning how and where to set up for a job. John was always helpful, cooperative, and he often made great suggestions on how to do the work. I really enjoyed working with him. It was one of the most rewarding times in my 40-plus years of media work. John was instrumental in that regard, and I wish him all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none?
Okay, so requesting discussion and approval regarding personnel items 1.1 through 1.3. 1.1, approval of the following as noted on our agenda, including retirements and resignations. 1.2, approval of an addendum to ESS Northeast LLC. 1.3, approval for all certificated staff to perform social emotional learning instruction, ESSER 3 funded.
Do I have a motion? So moved. Roll call, please.
Ms. Douglas?
I abstain.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Requesting discussion and approval of procedures and operations items 2.1 through 2.7. 2.1, approval of trips, athletic schedule, district travel. 2.2, approval of the VHS proposal for our 11th annual baseball spring training trip. 2.3, approval for the proposal for a senior class trip to Orlando, Florida. 2.4, approval for affiliation agreements with the noted institutions. 2.5, approval of the first reading, policy 2419, school threat assessment. 2.6, approval for Winslow Elementary School PBSIS project. 2.7, approval of the Vineland High School German Exchange Board Program 2023-2024 school year.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Roll call.
Ms. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Requesting discussion and approval of finance items 4.1 through 4.10. 4.1, approval of the preliminary budget transfers for general, school-based, and I believe it's ECBA grants for June 2023. 4.2, approval of the treasurer report and secretary reports for June of 2023. 4.3, approval of the following, which is the item regarding the revised 23-24 school district budget for submission to the state of New Jersey, as noted on our agenda. 4.4, approval of the acceptance of grant funding for the following schools for 23-24 school year on file with the board secretary. 4.5, approval of the submission of the fiscal year 24 Elementary and Secondary Education Act ESEA application as noted on our agenda. 4.6, approval of the 23-24 preschool expansion one-year preschool program plan. 4.7, approval of the renewal of the student accident policies through Hardenberg Insurance. 4.8, approval of professional development in the amount of $4,200 provided by Houghton Mifflin. 4.9, approval of PD in the amount of $58,800 by Houghton Mifflin into reading for K-5 teachers. And 4.10, approval of professional development on restorative practices and restorative conferences.
Any questions or comments?
I have a question, well, comment. Mr. Mastrell, could you just explain for the public or people that are watching why there's an amendment or revised budget?
Thank you. I was actually going to ask if I could speak on that matter. The preschool aid has been changed. It actually increased by $632,025. So we had to reapprove our budget for the 23-24 year. Thank you.
Do I have a motion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Douglas,
I abstain.
Mr. Fiocchi,
Yes to all, abstain 4.7.
thank you. Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana,
Yes.
Mr. Silva,
Yes.
Mrs. Cottaspotti, Ms. Spinelli.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Requesting discussion and approval regarding finance items 4.11 to 4.23. 4.11, 4.12, 4.13, and 4.14 all requesting approval for professional development for our staff, September 5th and 6th, district funded. So that's 4.11 through 4.14. 4.15 is requesting approval for PD at our non-tenured teacher academy as noted on our agenda. 4.16 is approval of the allocation of SRI and ETTC at Stockton University professional development hours for our school district. That is also district funded. 4.17, approval of the renewal of the following public agreement between Vineland Board of Education and Inspire Medical Center. 4.18, approval of the renewal of the following service agreement with Inspire Medical Center for Impact Healthcare Services in a form acceptable by the board, solicitor, and the superintendent. 4.19, approval of the 23-24 physicians stand-in orders. 4.20, approval of the partnership agreement between Big Brothers Big Sisters of Cumberland and Salem counties and the Vineland Board of Education in the form of an agreement acceptable to the superintendent and board solicitor. 4.21, approval of the memorandum of understanding with Rowan University for the college acceleration program. 4.22, approval of articulation agreements with Rowan College of South Jersey for the Health Science Academy pathway for academic years 23 through 27. 4.23, approval of the Vineland FFA Leadership Team Retreat proposal at no cost to the district.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Douglas,
I abstain.
Mr. Fiocchi,
Yes to all, abstain on 4.20.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes to all, but I abstain from 4.21 and 4.22.
thank you. Mr. Sabrana,
Yes, and abstain on 4.21.
Mr. Silva,
Yes.
Mrs. Cottaspotti, Ms. Spinelli,
Yes to all, but abstain from 4.19.
Mr. DeSanto. We have 3 abstentions on 4.21, leaving, actually, 3 abstentions. Leaving 1, 2, 3, 4. Does the motion still carry?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a majority
Of the quorum, okay. I want to make sure. Thank you. Motion carries.
Regular agenda items, none. Proposed items for review or discussion or adoption by board members, none. Approval of bills, okay, so approval of bills paid on the list for June of 2023. We taking a vote on that? Okay, do I have a motion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Douglas,
I abstain.
Mr. Fiocchi, Mr. Holmes, I'm sorry, Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana,
Yes.
Mr. Silva,
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti, Ms. Spinelli.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We have no emergent items. Old business, any old business this evening? None. Any new business this evening? Seeing none. Moving on to board member remarks, starting with Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome Makima officially as a board member. Last board meeting, I welcomed her, but she wasn't official, but now she's official. Again, I'll reiterate what I said before. I look forward to working with you, look forward to your ideas and what you have to bring to the table. So welcome. I'd like to also thank Renee Fabry for her service to the board for the year and a half that she put in. Thank you, Renee. I wish you all the best, and whatever you do in the future, I wish you nothing but success. I'd like to congratulate there were several baseball and softball teams from Vineland that reached certain levels of success this summer. District levels, we had a softball team, 12 under pigtail team that went all the way to the World Series in Florida. So I'd like to congratulate all those teams. You did awesome. You represented Vineland so well. You made us so proud, and we look forward to all your future achievements. Summer's almost over. I know. We got a month left. We got, the team is working hard to get everything ready for September. I look forward to the beginning of the school year, another school year that we can see those smiling faces coming through those doors, well, majority of them anyway. And that's always fun. And I wish you this year to be even better than any previous year, and this will be our best year to date. I'm going to say that out loud. And like always, I always urge parents to get involved in your children's education, get informed, ask lots of questions. Envuélvase en la educación de sus hijos, hagan muchas preguntas y sean informados. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sabrana.
Welcome, Ms. Douglas. Looking forward to working with you, and I hope you had an interesting first evening. Mr. Rivera's right. The summers go racing by every year. Mr. Farinaccio and his team are working very hard, I'm sure, as everyone else is getting ready. And I'm looking forward to another year, and I hope that our students and staff are rested up and they have a safe last few weeks before school starts, and we have another fantastic year. Thank you.
Mr. Silva.
Yes, Ms. Douglas, welcome. Looking forward to working with you. I guess I'd like to reiterate whatever Mr. Sabrana and Mr. Rivera said. Summer is almost done. School's getting ready to start. There's some summer reading that needs to be done. I don't know if you started it yet, but it's on our website. Please get that done before school starts. And Ms. Fabry, I never had a chance to say goodbye, but to congratulate her on whatever she's doing now. Thank you for your service, and good night.
Mr. Fiocchi.
Good evening. Just want to extend a formal welcome and congratulations to Mrs. Douglas. Look forward to working with you, and I know you'll be an asset to this board. Thank you.
Mrs. Douglas.
Good evening. I didn't get a chance to formally thank Renee Fabry for her great work, and I I know that I will be an asset and I will make her proud in the role that I fill in for her. But I want to say thank you to all administrative staff and board members because everyone has been so welcoming and supportive. And I definitely am looking forward to working with all of you. The summer is not over yet, so I would encourage all families to enjoy the summer because the school year is quickly approaching. We have a lot of work to do, but I know we can do a lot of work together. So thank you and have a very good night.
Ms. Codispoti.
I too would like to congratulate and welcome Ms. Douglas. I look forward to working with you. We've spoken, and I think it's going to be good for all of us. Renee, you will be missed. Thank you for your time with us. We valued it greatly. I do want to say I am so proud of the Vineland Public Schools for National Night Out last night. You guys had such a great area and booth. It was phenomenal, and I've heard nothing but great praise all through today also. I want to thank the Vineland Police Department for hosting National Night Out. It was bigger and better than it has been. Summer, yes, is not over, and but they're getting close. So everybody just please have a safe time until school starts, and we'll see you in September.
Mr. Yano.
Yes, just a few highlights. I want to say congratulations to our extended school year team. Our program is wrapping up tomorrow, and our students had another successful summer of learning. Thank you to all the staff members, our teachers, aides, administrators who made that possible, and to our students for coming every day. Vineland Public Schools made our debut last evening at National Night Out in terms of our district presence and school presence. What a wonderful evening, supported by our facilities team. Thank you, Mr. Farnaccio, our warehouse team, our administrators, our teachers, our board members that came out to party with us. We had a great time. It was awesome. Gave out thousands of books and supplies. So we really were excited and look forward to doing it again next year. We are rapidly approaching a new school year. We want to welcome all of our students and staff back very soon. Freshman orientation, August 15th and 16th from 9 to 12 at the VHS. Our second administrative academy will be held on August 22nd and 23rd. Our new teacher orientation will be held on August 28th. I believe we have over 50 teachers lined up to come to that new teacher orientation. Our preschools and kindergartens, kindergarten teachers will be hosting meet and greets and welcome sessions later this month. Very exciting time. Keep an eye on our website and social media pages for those exact dates and times. I want to note that attendance matters. We need our students to attend every single day. Our absentee numbers for last year improved from the year prior, but we still need to do a better job. We need all of our parents' help to get the kids to school on time and ready for instruction every single day. Consistency is critical, especially moving into this next school year. We're revising a couple of regulations around our attendance policy and credit recovery at the high school level, so we'll have some announcements that'll come out towards the end of this year. And we also want to remind folks that we have a new app and website. And right now, our app has been downloaded over 4,000 times to connect our community to our school district. So it's very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more meeting in the month of August, so I'll save my back-to-school spirit for then. But again, just want to welcome our newest board member. I know you worked hard to get here, and I really admire that about you, and I look forward to working with you. So at this time, I would like to adjourn this meeting. Any abstains? Abstentions?